Pokémon Champions is expected to release in 2026, and while you'll be able to obtain Pokémon within the game itself, you don't need to wait until release to start preparing now. Across the 3 official trailers so far, 32 Pokémon have been officially confirmed to appear in Pokémon Champions, including 11 Mega Evolutions. Because Pokémon Champions will support Pokémon Home connectivity, this means you can catch many of these Pokémon right now using existing Nintendo Switch games, store them in Home, and have them ready to transfer immediately when Champions releases. To help with this, I've created a full preparation sheet linked in the description below, showing every confirmed Pokémon so far, what game they can be obtained in, and which ones you should start prioritize preparing. So today I'll run through exactly what you should be catching now and how to prepare properly for Pokémon Champions. From the official trailers, we now have confirmation of 32 Pokémon that will be usable in Pokémon Champions. This already gives us a strong early foundation of what the game's roster will start to look like. More importantly, this allows us to prepare ahead of time. Because once Champions releases, players who already have these Pokémon ready in Home will be able to build teams immediately, rather than needing to unlock or catch everything from scratch. This is assuming we have Pokemon Home connectivity upon launch. This is especially important for rare Pokemon, version exclusives, or Pokemon that only appear in specific games. And most importantly of all, Mega Evolution is confirmed to be returning. Out of the 32 confirmed Pokemon so far, 11 of them have Mega Evolutions. These are Charizard, Gengar, Kangaskhan Dragonite, Scizor, Tyranitar, Feraligatr, Gardevoir, Metagross, Garchomp, and Lucario. While only 11 Mega Evolutions have been officially confirmed so far, the total number of Mega Pokemon now sits at a whopping 92. This includes the original 48 Mega Evolutions introduced previously, alongside 44 brand new Mega Evolutions added in Pokémon Legends Z-A and its DLC content. However, this number will realistically be smaller in an official competitive format. Historically, mythical Pokemon and legendary Pokemon with Mega Evolutions such as Mewtwo, Kyogre, and Rayquaza are often restricted or only allowed in special formats. This means the most important preparation focus should be on non-legendary Mega Pokemon, as these are far more likely to form the core of the standard competitive environment in Pokemon Champions. Preparing these Pokemon now definitely gives you the strongest long-form value, and this is extremely significant. Mega Evolution has historically been one of the most powerful battle mechanics in Pokemon, and its return immediately makes these Pokemon some of the highest priority targets to now prepare for. Most importantly, Dragonite is a brand new Mega Evolution introduced in Pokemon Legends Z-A, and its appearance in the Pokemon Champions trailers strongly suggests that newer Mega Evolutions will also be usable. This makes preparing Mega capable Pokemon one of the smartest things you can do right now, because once Champions releases, you'll only need to unlock their Mega Stones and not the Pokemon themselves. Now, the good news is that many of these confirmed Pokemon are already obtainable in current Nintendo Switch titles. Depending on the Pokemon, you can obtain them in games such as Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Pokemon Legends Z-A, Pokemon Sword and Shield, or Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. For example, like Garchomp and Lucario, they're obtainable in multiple Switch titles, making them relatively easy to prepare. Others, like certain starters or rarer Pokemon like Ursaluna, may only be available in specific games. This is exactly why preparation now is valuable. And to make this easier, I've created a full sheet linked in the description below, showing every confirmed Pokemon so far, what games they will be obtainable in, and which ones you can prepare immediately. This allows you to quickly identify what you already have and what you may still need to obtain. And if you want to prepare efficiently, here are some recommendations for priority order. Firstly, you could look at preparing all confirmed Mega Evolutions. These are extremely likely to be among the strongest Pokemon in Champions, and having them ready immediately gives you the most flexibility. Next, prepare the Pokemon that are harder to obtain or tied to specific games, namely things like Hisuian forms, Ursaluna, or legendaries like Heatran, Latios, and Latias. Even without Mega Evolution, many of these Pokemon are historically strong and likely to remain relevant. And once you've gathered all of these Pokemon, you can just store everything in Pokemon Home if compatibility is there. Obviously, at the moment, Pokemon Legends Z-A still is awaiting connectivity to Home, but as soon as that does happen, you can start transferring if you're using that game. And doing these preparations ahead of time ensures that these Pokemon are ready immediately to transfer once that compatibility between Pokemon Home and Champions is released. It's also important to mention that you do not need to own any previous Pokemon games to enjoy or prepare for Pokemon Champions. You will be able to obtain Pokemon directly within Champions itself, so there is no requirement to transfer Pokemon from other titles in order to play the game or build strong teams. This video is intended to help players who already have access to previous Pokemon games and understand what they can prepare ahead of time, not to suggest that you need to go out and purchase additional games purely on preparation. If you are only missing 1 or 2 titles that contain specific Pokemon, it's likely more sensible to simply wait and obtain this Pokemon in Champions itself rather than spending money unnecessarily. It's also worth noting that many Pokemon we've covered are not limited to Nintendo Switch titles. Most of these Pokemon have existed across multiple generations, and if you already have them in older games, they can still be transferred forward using Pokemon Bank, Poké Transporter, and Pokemon Home. And this also includes Pokemon obtained through Pokemon Go, which can be transferred into Home and potentially into Champions as well. And finally, although Pokemon Home compatibility has been confirmed with Pokemon Champions, it is not yet officially being confirmed whether Pokemon Home transfers will be available immediately at launch, or if support will come later down the line. So preparation now is helpful if you already have access, but it is absolutely not required. Everything should still be obtainable within Pokemon Champions itself. So with 32 Pokemon already confirmed and Mega Evolutions returning, preparations for Pokemon Champions has already begun. By catching these Pokemon now and storing them in your Pokemon Home account, you can ensure that you're ready immediately when the game releases. If you want to see a full list of confirmed Pokemon and where to obtain them, just a heads up and reminder that the preparation sheet is linked in the description below. And as more Pokemon are revealed in future trailers in the lead up to the release of Pokemon Champions, that list will continue to grow and be a good reference sheet for everyone to kind of go to if you're wanting to transfer Pokemon in from other games through Pokemon Home into Champions. Pokemon Champions may still be some time away, but the best preparations to start are now. I hope you found today's video helpful. If you have, please consider dropping a like and do subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all of our future Pokemon Champions content.